He has served in every major African conflict since 2006, from Niger to Somalia, DRC to South Sudan. He has not shied away from going to places where he is needed the most. Today, on Daring Abroad African Edition, we feature the inspiring story of Michael Arunga, an emergency communications specialist and the founder of MA Advance.
We have people who are vulnerable, people who are poor, people who can't take care of themselves, and they have no control over the war. They just find themselves in circumstances. And if we don't support these individuals, then they die.
When I first met Michael Arunga, he had just landed in the country from a 2-month humanitarian mission in Chad.
There's a lot of work that I did around bringing up, focus on the Boko Haram crisis, which I think is a big crisis. 1.4 million people affected. We have 450,000 refugees in Chad itself that need food, that need water, that need support.
Michael grew up in Kakamega County. He studied communications at the Kenya Institute of Mass Communication in 1991 and 2 years later joined the Japan International Center in Okinawa. His love for communication studies saw him enroll in the University of Zambia for a master's program in development communication, the first ever in the entire continent.
I chose communications because I was good in languages in school. But then also it's exciting being able to relay, the stories around other people, just being able to see the impact of what I communicated.
In 1998, he began working at KIMC as a lecturer before getting an interest in emergency communications that led him to World Vision International, a humanitarian aid, development and advocacy organization.
I joined World Vision in 1999 and began focusing on emergencies. The famine in Kenya, within the northern part of Kenya, Turkana, Marsabit.
His hard work resulted in him being promoted to the post of Policy, Advocacy and Communications Manager, and in 2006, he received his first major assignment to go to Darfur and report on the hardships being experienced because of the Janjaweed, a militia group operating in Western Sudan.
I got into Darfur and very, very challenging going out into the field, hundreds of thousands of people within internally displaced camps. It was scaring. I had young sons too that time, barely 5 years or 3 years, and leaving a family to be able to go into a different country for an extended period of time, and a young wife, beautiful wife, so it was not easy.
Besides being in a place with different cultures and religion, Michael also faced the challenge of an uncooperative government which was suspicious about his purpose in the region.
I was called to the intelligence arm of the government, call it Humanitarian Aid Commission, HAC. So I was grilled by HAC a number of times. Denied permits to work. They kept me in Khartoum for 2 months or so. It was difficult to be able to, work without going out into the field to reach out to the people that I'm supposed to support.
Michael was, however, able to persevere and successfully documented all that the people were experiencing.
I've lived in the UN compound, in a tent with IDPs, among IDPs, no latrines, no water, no food. So these are the kind of things that the international community needs to have humanness to be able to support, and there's need to be able to pay attention.
South Sudan Republic way! Salva Kiir way!
On completing his assignment, Michael also served in the DRC, Somalia, Niger, as well as other West African countries. In his many travels, he has come close to losing his own life.
In Goma, our office was next to military barracks, and then the rebels struck the town at midday. I was forced to flee under a hail of bullets to the team house. I'd left my passport and my wallet. Niger also, we had a time when we had Al-Qaeda, when we still had Osama bin Laden, and they wanted to target foreigners, and I was there as a foreigner.
During the attacks, he was able to escape death with help from the local communities.
There are scenarios when they would tell me, Michael, tomorrow we're going to have an attack in this area, actually the rebels. they would come up and tell me, no, we advise you to stay home. And for sure, I would stay home within the team house, and there would be an attack.
We will find out more about Michael Arunga's experience across Africa right after our Miles Away segment.
Located in Central Africa, Chad is led by President Idriss Deby, who assumed office in 1990. It has a population of about 14 million people. Its capital is N'Djamena. The country is a beautiful place to visit. At the top of the places to see while in Chad is the Zakuma National Park that is a prime location for safari. One may also want to see the Ennedi Plateau that is home to the most remarkable and unusual rock formations in the world. And just like Kenya, Chad's major industries are mostly agricultural. This includes cotton and cattle. And that's miles away.
The money is important because we all need to live well and so forth. Yeah? But when you're passionate about what you do, yeah, the money will follow.
Michael Arunga's humanitarian nature has led him to highly insecure places in the region. He was, however, fortunate enough to escape injury and death a number of times, but this was not the case when it came to his colleagues.
There was this day when I was supposed to go out into the field. I decided to, ask my assistant to replace me on this trip. That day, Janjaweed waited for the vehicles and they attacked our team. It was really, really scary. He sprayed the vehicle where I was supposed to be with bullets. 3 of my colleagues took bullets, 2 to the head, including my assistant, and 1 has to the arm. One of my colleagues has a skull that is open. They can't drive back because of the road. It will shake and then he would definitely die. So it was extremely scary.
With such a hostile working environment, one would imagine that he would no longer be motivated to serve. But this is not the case for Michael.
We don't choose to be born here, where there's relative peace. You could have been born anywhere. So somebody needs to reach out and help the people who are out there. You come in, there's a crisis, you share images, you pitch, and the support comes in, so you can see the food, a child who is about to die and lives. Those kind of things, you cannot get that kind of satisfaction anywhere else.
Michael further adds that despite the violence, heartache and bloodshed he has seen, he has also witnessed beauty and love within the same places he has served.
The songs, the dance, the ceremonies, whether it's a wedding, yeah, the way that they dance. Oh, it's across the continent. I love those events that take place. I've been to a wedding in Darfur, for example, of colleagues, and the way that they dance, very, 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 very impressed. And the food. Africa have a rich culture.
It is for these reasons that he believes in Africans for Africa.
I see Africa with huge potential. Wow, across the board. Even Somalia, where everybody looks at Somalia with very, very exclusive images that come through the media. But I've been to Hargeisa in Somalia. Some of the best fruits that I've eaten were in Hargeisa, watermelons. So there's huge potential. It's just that we need to deal with some of the small issues that we have, and we'll turn around these countries that are desperate. I think Africa has the potential to be the lead continent.
This belief saw him open up his own company, Ma Advance, in 2016, involved in not only emergency but also development communication.
We've been able to position, grow huge talent that we were able now to deploy different people across the continents, from Ethiopia to Niger, for example, from Kenya to a different context. And yes, been able to show the world that, Africa has what it takes. You don't have to rely on experts from, the countries to the West, but we can develop what we have here to be able to position ourselves. We have the skill.
And he has not forgotten his homeland. In 2008, he began a sports tournament that is hosted in Mumias Boys High School each year.
Great sports people went through that school, Humphrey Kayange and others who have excelled internationally. So I'm hoping that the young people across the continent can come up and we can showcase the talent that we have across the world.
Despite the toll it has had on his family life, Michael does not regret his career choice. He is in fact grateful for the positive impact it has had in his life.
What it has done, because I schooled in Kenya, I grew up in Kenya and ventured out, dared abroad later in life. It has made me appreciate other people more. I don't look at other communities or other nationalities as those people, but we are a global village. I tend to appreciate the other people more.
Michael, who is about to leave for Uganda, observes that the major cause of conflict in the continent is bad leadership and divisive politics.
A lot of the confusion that is on the continent is as a result of the leaders. It's important that when you have a handshake, there is genuineness to it. It's really, really unfortunate when people shake hands and you have your personal agenda in that handshake.
And this is the advice he has on our Diaspora Bite.
Take control of the agenda for your country. Set the agenda. Don't think selfishly about yourself. Look into the future. Know that Africa is a resource and we are here for a period to be able to make a difference and transition. You'll not be on the world forever. Others have changed their continents. Why can't we change the African continent?
Michael Arunga's courage to go to places where most would not is an inspiration to all of us. And his goal to have a united and genuinely peaceful Africa is something we should all work towards. Until next week, I'm Michael Zimanti.